Because my producers hate me and they're sadists, they are forcing me to watch a new ad campaign from the National Football League. I have assiduously avoided watching the NFL ever since they disrespected our flag and our entire country.
They're embarrassing me. They're embarrassing America.
Can't say I watched it all that much before then, but occasionally, every now and now, I don't do it. So the producers have locked me in this chair. It's like a torture chamber, and they want me to try to help them make sense of the new Inspire Change campaign from the NFL.
Let me tell you about where I'm from.
Where I'm from, poverty is a crime.
That's not true.
If you look like me, you're over-policed, overcharged, and over-incarcerated.
Nope.
I was sentenced to die in prison for a $28 robbery, but change is coming.
I don't believe that.
The NFL and Alabama Appleseed are fighting to free victims of wrongful punishment and excessive sentences. Together, justice and equality will belong to everyone, no matter where you're from.
Do you believe that? I mean, I don't believe really any of the claims made in that video, but do you believe that a man was sentenced to die in prison over a $28 robbery?
A $28 robbery.
I wish you weren't a liar.
I just don't think that's true. I think we're missing some details. Obviously, I don't know this man's name. I don't know the nature of his crime, but I would be willing to bet a lot of money that there is more to the story than that man took $28 from somebody.
I just wish you weren't a liar.
Unless you really believe, as a lot of people on the left do, that America is just a vicious, cruel, racist, bigoted, evil place, I don't think that a man was sentenced to die in prison for taking $28.
If this was a death penalty state, you'd be getting the chair.
He's clearly not in prison right now. He's making this dumb commercial for the National Football League. Where I live, poverty is a crime. How? How is poverty a crime? Do you mean that people who are poor sometimes commit crimes because they're poor? Committing a crime is a crime in that case. And very often, I have to tell you, I know people pretend that they commit crimes because they're so poor. There's a spate of robberies going on right now in San Francisco, among other places, where people are walking in off the street and just robbing the street, just taking stuff and putting it in a trash bag. I don't think this is a man walking into the bakery and taking a loaf of bread to feed his children. I think this is degenerate criminal people going in and breaking the law intentionally because they're morally twisted, and because they'll get away with it, because the society is encouraging this kind of depravity. And I think it's harmful for society, obviously. It's harmful for the shop owners, it's harmful for all of us who don't want crime on our streets, but it's harmful for the criminal, because it is encouraging criminals to go even further down this path of destruction. Poverty is a crime. I don't think that's true anywhere in the country. Black men are over-incarcerated.
If you look like me, you're over-incarcerated.
What does that mean, over-incarcerated? We don't have an over-incarceration problem in this country for black men or white men or any other kind of men. We have an under-incarceration problem because we have a lot of crime, and crime is shooting through the roof around our country. So by definition, we are not locking up enough criminals. Sometimes you will hear that people in this country, and black men in particular, are going to prison for simple marijuana possession, apparently trivial drug offenses.
Just a little bit of weed.
Oh no, man, these are not even my pants. These are my friend's pants.
That's not true. Something like 97% of the inmates in prison are there not for simple possession, but for drug trafficking. And by the way, even if you look at the roughly 3%, and at the federal level, it's even less than that. It's 0.9% or so of federal inmates who are in for possession offenses of any kind, by the way, not just marijuana, but heroin and fentanyl and other really poisonous substances. The actual people who just go to prison for possession, like as though there are cops out hunting for pot smokers and for black men in particular to throw them in the can for smoking a joint, it just doesn't exist. It's just completely made up, like everything else in this NFL ad. So what they're selling you is not football. It's not knowledge about the way that our political system works. They're just peddling lies. What they're selling you is hatred of America. America, bad. America as it was bad. America as it is bad. America needs to fundamentally transform. And so you've got to be the change. And the saddest part of all of it, well, I suppose the saddest part is that this is destructive toward the common good and our society as a whole. But only slightly less sad than that, still really, really unfortunate, is that it's going to encourage people to continue along destructive behaviors. It's going to encourage criminals to say, the fact that I'm committing crime is not my fault, it's someone else's fault. It's going to encourage people who are not trying to improve their lives to say, well, it's not up to me to improve my life. Someone else has to improve my life for me. The society needs to improve my life. It's just not fair. I can never get ahead. And it's going to encourage Americans to hate their own country and hate their own countrymen, which is really going to harm their communities and going to harm society. And actually, that's already what we're seeing happen around us.